Next, we have Bruce Rippey here this evening to make a presentation to the board regarding the Hopkins Commons TIF proposal. And Bruce, actually, I think we talked about a year plus ago, and he's been working on this development, and Terry and I had met with him at lunch one day, and a few weeks ago, Bruce contacted us and has made some more progress in the development of what was once a proposal is now a development that he has some more detail that he'd like to share with the board.
Well, thank you all for your time this evening. With me today is Gene Rose, who is president of Warren County Community Services, who is also playing a major role in this project, as you'll see as I show you this a little bit. This is a very unique project for the county. It'll be the first project like this in the state of Ohio. It's a senior complex. It's located on Route 48, just around the corner here, next to the Hamilton Township building. The project is called Hopkins Commons, and as you can see, the parcel that it's located on is this area outlined in black, and right on Route 48. It is adjacent to Otterbine's skilled nursing facility, the Hamilton Township trustee building, the post office across the street from LCNB Bank. This kind of gives you an artist rendering of what the main entrance to this project would look like. There's 160 apartments in this project. 33 of them are affordable, in that they are part of an award that the project got from the Ohio Housing Finance Authority. The target for this project is to help all seniors, and so seniors that have very limited resources to seniors that have more resources. But there's a very unique difference to this project because it really creates a sense of community that is all contained within this project. The apartments in this are all full-scale apartments. They are not assisted living scale apartments, but regular residential size apartments that seniors might find more accommodating to their needs. And just another view of what the overall campus looks like. So there's a total of 160 apartments. There's 33 affordable. There's 127 market rate apartments. These numbers changed a little bit. All the residents in this area will be over 55 years of age. That doesn't seem like senior to me anymore now that I've surpassed that. So what will be unique about this project is that nowhere here will you actually see the word senior, because who wants to be called a senior, right? And so the idea for this is to be designed in such a way that it promotes total mobility for seniors and accessibility for the entire site. There won't be a step in the entire site for somebody to try to navigate over. And it'll also be an opportunity for seniors to have a lot of communication with others that are living in this campus. And keep in mind that in this area behind this property is the MI subdivision, Regency Park, and there's approximately 850 homes back there right now, which is a great partnership because there's a lot of great amenities back in that area that the Homeowners Association has agreed to allow our residents to use, parks, playgrounds, things like that when grandkids come to visit. There will be a lot of great amenities inside this project, things like exercise rooms, movie theater, a lot of common space, a library. It'll have a beauty salon as well. Warren County Community Services will have a 14,000 square foot operation there that will have daily programming for seniors. It will also have an intergenerational cafe. And that's really an important element to this type of lifestyle, because through this cafe, seniors can stay connected to the outside world without having to actually leave the campus And it's a cafe that will be operated by an independent operator as opposed to something that will be more institutional. And so I know that Warren County Community Services has put out an RFP. They've had a number of restaurant operators that have expressed an interest in operating this restaurant. The beauty of it is that there's, as you all well know, living in this area, there's very little choices south of Montgomery Road, and there's a great retail leakage, and so it'll be a great opportunity for Warren County Community Services to have another revenue source. It'll be a service to the community by having a full-service restaurant there that will provide great meals, and it'll provide meals to the seniors living there at a reduced rate. As I mentioned, this project is all about collaboration, and so between the Ohio Housing Finance Authority giving this project this credit award, and it was given the award because of the innovation that this project represents. Not only will the seniors here have a great place to live and have access to services provided by Warren County Community Services, but they'll also have an assisted living amenity that'll be an optional amenity. Unfortunately, today in the United States, seniors that have limited resources or that have outlived their resources oftentimes will end up in a nursing home. And about 10% of the population, according to the Scripps Center in Miami, are in that situation where they're there only because they have no other place to go. They may have one or two activities of daily limitations. They can't get dressed, or they can't just remember to take their medicine, but other than that, they can function just fine. But for those things, they end up in a nursing home. And so probably at a very premature time in their lives, they end up in a nursing home, which is a very unfortunate consequence. 10,000 people a day today are in the United States are turning 65. This number obviously is a number that the system overall can't currently handle. There's not going to be enough nursing home beds in the United States to handle that kind of growth, and it's a problem that the state is really starting to look at to figure out how are they going to handle that type of demand going forward. This project is kind of a stake in the ground for them to look at an alternative way to be able to help seniors age in place, is really what this is about. There's another collaborator in this, and that is Sinclair Community College. They will be partnering with us and with Warren County Community Services to put in a culinary program in the cafe in this facility. So it's an opportunity not only for community members that want to get a degree or a certificate in culinary arts. There could be potentially opportunities for Little Miami schools to collaborate with them for students that maybe not going on to college but are interested in culinary arts in terms of getting an associate's or maybe just a certificate type program. So there's a lot of opportunities from that standpoint. Sinclair is also interested in doing some other coursework there that just would be available to the public that doesn't want a degree or that isn't interested in getting a certificate, but they just want to learn how to cook. This is an important thing for our seniors that will be living in this community because it will be an opportunity for them to perhaps learn how to deal with transitions in their own lives. And so oftentimes seniors will see a role reversal where one member of the household had cared for the other for 50 years, and all of a sudden they can't do that anymore, and the other spouse is taking care of them. Or there's a situation where just one spouse loses another and they don't even know how to take care of themselves in terms of cooking daily meals. So this would be an opportunity for Sinclair to help educate those folks on how to do some of those things. As I mentioned, there's an assisted living amenity. It'll be operated by an independent operator, Nursing Care Management. They operate about 1,200, or operate about 8 nursing homes, having about 1,200 beds. It is an optional amenity, so in this particular case, the resident will only buy those services that they need, which really reduces the overall cost for those services. Then there will be the optional assisted living amenity will also be available to residents that have affordable apartments. and they will be able to obtain a Medicaid waiver to help pay for those services. So it really helps those residents maintain their independence for a longer period of time. The restaurant will provide meals for the residents that are using the assisted living amenity. We're here tonight to talk about a TIF, and the TIF will be used to pay for the Warren County Community Services space, as well as a sidewalk that we want to put from the Mainville Hamilton Township border to Stevens Road, which is approximately 1 mile. And we also want to put lights from the town of Mainville to Stevens Road. We think it's a really important element for economic development purposes for both Mainville as well as the township. It will open access from all those residents that are living in the Regency Park area and those subdivisions right along there to go down into the town of Mainville. I grew up in Mainville a long time ago, and at the time there were 400 residents there, and I can tell you that Mainville's never really had much economic growth in that area from back in the 1960s when I grew up there. And I think this is a real opportunity when you have all those residents that are living in those subdivisions to be able to access that on a beautiful night like tonight and be able to walk down to that area, and hopefully it'll spur some economic growth in that area for other businesses to locate in the downtown area of Mainville, and should really help the town of Mainville from that standpoint. It'll also give the seniors that are living in the Otterbein facility the opportunity that there's a number of seniors there that are just living there with spouses, and they have the opportunity to go in and or go out for a walk in the afternoon or morning, and it be a safe area for them to and someplace to walk to. This overall project is about $25 million. And what we are proposing is a TIF to help pay for the Warren County space as well as the sidewalks, and that breaks down to about a little over $2 million for the Warren County space, plus another $500,000 for the sidewalks, and then there's some interest carry, and total costs are approximately $2.9 million. We're still trying to go through some of those final costs with the consultants that are working on the project with us. We've gotten a lot of support for this project from not only the Ohio Housing Finance Authority, but also through the state. The State House of Reps, you may have seen, representatives you may have seen last week, allocated $250,000 in their capital allocation budget to help Warren County Community Services pay for this. This will be a really big asset for this community to have Warren County's program down here. The seniors will gain, all the seniors in the area will be able to utilize the services that Warren County has there. The programming that Warren County will have there will be a really great benefit to all the seniors living in this area. It's also a benefit to all the residents, because what we're finding in other communities that we've developed like this, that oftentimes younger residents in those communities want mom and dad to move closer, and unfortunately there's no place for them to go. And so probably 10% of the residents that live here aren't even from this area, but are moving here to be closer to their kids. It's also an opportunity to perhaps provide collaboration with seniors and Little Miami schools in terms of maybe cooperative programs between Warren County Community Services and the residents living there, and maybe some Head Start type programs or other opportunities such as that. What we're asking Little Miami to consider is right now there's approximately $5,000 a year paid in property taxes for that parcel. This project obviously will generate a lot of tax dollars. What Hamilton Township is also very interested in seeing this project happen. And so what we're asking the schools to consider is waiving any further allotment from this. So presently, as my understanding is, there's a 75-25 allotment on the increase in value as far as the allocation of the TIF. And so what we're asking is, in order for this TIF bond to be paid off earlier, we're asking the schools to waive their the 25% allocation that they would have for this, just the increase in value. Now keep in mind, this has been a farm for the last 150 years, and there's been nothing really coming from this parcel, and there's been not much commercial development because of the special assessment that the township had put on housing and commercial development there. We think with the additional 160 apartments there will probably be 200 residents. There'll probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 employees working in this restaurant. It'll be open 7 days a week. So there's economic benefit to the county and to the township from the standpoint of creating additional jobs, as well as the additional employees that Warren County Community Services will have. The assisted living provider will probably have approximately 40 employees as well. So it'll create economic incentives or economic growth from that standpoint, and hopefully will spur additional commercial development through that area. And it'll again help Little Miami's families, because it should help property values overall in this area by having this type of amenity. So there's a lot of positives for the school's consideration in this, the biggest of which is helping the seniors in this area that really are going to need it. And I thank you for your time, and I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
I did have one question. You were mentioned that a private operator is going to run a 7,000 square foot restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Sinclair is having a culinary? I'm a little. Are they in that restaurant, or are they on a separate spot, or?
They will have their own space within this overall 14,000 square foot facility. It's a kind of a training kitchen, if you will, and then the restaurant operator will have a space adjacent to that. And so the restaurant operator will be under lease with Warren County Community Services. Warren County Community Services will own this facility outright. There's a couple intermediate steps that will happen with that with Warren County Port Authority, but at the end of the day, Warren County Community Services will own this 14,000 square foot space, and they will sublet that space, or lease a portion of that space to a restaurant operator.
Is Sinclair, they are already signed on, or have you thought about Warren County Center, their culinary?
Thanks, Bobby. I'm Eugene Rose. I'm with Warren County Community Services. And the question is Sinclair already signed on to this project, or has the Career Center been consulted as well? Yes and yes are the short answers. Sinclair is all in. This is going to be a grand opening, really, of an expansion of their campus at Course-View, because right now they only have culinary arts in Dayton, so it's a huge accomplishment for our area and Warren County. So they are going to be training their people there. The Career Center knows about this, and Maggie Hess knows about this very well, and there are some potential fits there, and of course the Career Center and Sinclair are already collaborating on things, so Sinclair is going to have the anchor of their program there, but I don't really control the Career Center's involvement. My speculation is that there will be some, but I don't know at this point what that would be. Sure. Nice to see you.
If the green light goes through with all this, when do you expect groundbreaking?
Right now, we're really hoping to break ground here in the next 60 days. I mean, it is imminent. All the drawings have been approved by Warren County Planning and Zoning, and we are very, very close to wrapping up all the requirements to break ground. So this is just one of the final elements. You know, and the question about involving other elements of Warren County or Little Miami schools, just a couple things. Obviously, there's dual credit opportunities that I know that Sinclair offers right now, I believe. So there might be some opportunities with the Career Center from that standpoint. We have also had some preliminary conversations with the schools about doing some ag programs with seniors. And there's some great areas within this campus that will allow for kind of a community garden approach. And I believe you all have some collaboration with Ohio State. And so doing some elevated gardens for seniors that are wheelchair accessible are currently in the plans as well. And so there's some opportunities from that standpoint for additional collaboration. The idea is to try to, with this project, is to try to keep seniors connected to the community. And we can do that through the intergenerational restaurant because the residents can obviously get there very easily, but we can also do it through other types of programs like we're talking about with this community garden type space. So and then if there's other opportunities to partner with the schools in terms of reading programs or other types of initiatives that could be of interest as well, and a great space to do it. The other thing about this project is that there's very little activity area in Hamilton Township right now for banquets and that type of things. In fact, there's none. And so if somebody in this area wants to have a birthday party or an anniversary party, or you have a great winning football team and they want to go down and have a banquet at the end of the season, or basketball team, whatever, that's a pretty tough thing to do. And with this community center there, all of a sudden there's, you know, some nice seating areas and some banquet areas for those types of events that I think are a real benefit to the community as well.
I believe I have it. Can you send that to me? The tip dollar calculation?
Yes, so it's, you all have it on your computer here, so we can email that to Greg.
Fantastic.
Anyone have any other questions?
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Steve? You're good. You're seeing that.
Thank you, Bruce. We'll review this and get back to you with questions and anything that needs to be clarified, and after we take a closer look at things, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
That's all I have. Enrollment's at over 4,500 right now, and even at this time of the year, the kids are still enrolling.
So it's over 45.
4,501, so that's probably more than that now, Nancy. That was last week.
10 minutes.
Okay, community comments on agenda items.
No one has signed up.
Okay, this time, Terry, treasurer's reports and recommendations.
Under item 11, letter A, I ask for the board's approval of the monthly financial reports for the period ending March 2016.
Motion? Mr.
I'll
Nemish?
second.
Mr. Means? Questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremins?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, under item B, I ask for the board's approval of the two contracts listed for one for Paul Brown Stadium, the other for the Oasis Conference Center, both for 2017 and 2018.
I'll move.
Ms. Grice?
I'll second.
Mr. Nay? Questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremins?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, under item C, I ask for the board's approval of a donation of mulch, of 60 bags of mulch, Midnight Black, from the Lowe's located in South Lebanon to the district.
I'll move.
Mr. Means? Mr. Nemish? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Ms. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremins?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.
Thank you. Next, I actually have another donation. I'd like to recommend the board's approval of the acceptance of Eagle Scout Project work donation by Life Scout Joseph Swisher of Boy Scout Troop 81.
I'll
Mr.
second.
Remains? Mr. Grice? Questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Cremains?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Next, I have two resolutions. The first is Resolution 16002, asking for the board's approval to authorize the issuance of not to exceed 5.130 million general obligation unlimited tax refunding bonds.
Mr. Nay?
I'll second.
Mr. Remains? Terry, could you explain that?
Yes, actually, you have a handout on your desk for both of these resolutions. The first one, these are bonds we actually sold in 2011 when fiscal emergency, and our interest rate, I believe, was pushing 7% because we had a low credit rating at the time. And trying to take advantage and save the district some funds and the taxpayer some funds by looking at the low interest rates and actually refunding, which is also like refinancing. So essentially, we're going to refund the 2011 issuance with new bonds at a lower interest rate, essentially. By doing this, this is like I said, about $5,130,000 approximately. Over the life of the payments of this bond issuance up through 2034, we're going to save approximately $1.1 million in this refunding.
Say that one more time here.
Yes, in this issuance alone, the refunding, we're going to save approximately $1.1 million in the refunding over the life of the payments.
20%.
Yeah, that's
Very nice. Very nice. Questions? Roll call, please.
So, Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremains?
Yes.
Next, item F, resolution 16003, actually very similar. I'm asking the board's approval, the authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $39,635,000 of general obligation unlimited tax refunding bonds.
I'll move.
Ms. Grice?
Second.
Mr. Remains?
This one I'd like to go over also. This issue is from 2007. This is bonds we have outstanding currently that we're paying on. Once again, to take advantage or prudent financial decision to take advantage of the low interest rates. It's very hard to generate a lot of income right now, but with the low interest rates, it makes sense to essentially refinance the issuance. This $39,635,000 is actually a little bit different. The $5 million is a tax exempt bond issuance. This is actually a taxable bond issuance. Sometimes you don't usually see taxable too often because interest rates are usually a little higher, the tax exempt is a little bit lower. With the lower interest rates, it makes sense to actually refund these also. And up through between now, the first payment in 2016 on these bonds up to, 2034, we're going to save approximately $3,137,000 in this one. So combined between the two, we're looking at a savings of about $4.2 million over the payment of these bonds.
Good job.
Yes. That's great, Terry. Very good. Good job.
I like to hear you
Any
say.
questions?
Yeah.
So really hard to do it.
That's nice.
We're going to do it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremains?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have.
All right. It's time to superintendent's reports, recommendations.
Yes, I would ask the board's approval for all personnel items listed under item A on the agenda.
Mr. Nay?
I'll second.
Ms. Grice? Roll call, please.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremains?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Would like to ask the board's approval for item B.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Mr. Cremains? Mr. Grice? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremains?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish? Abstain? Mr.
Thanks.
Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to vacate the seat for the superintendent designee for the next one.
Okay.
Hello. I ask for the board's approval for the personnel item C.
I'll move.
Mr. Nay? Mr. Nemish? Roll call, please.
Mr. Cremains?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Ms. Grice?
Yes.
Thank you.
I ask the board's approval for item D.
I'll move.
Ms. Grice?
Second.
Mr. Means? Questions, comments?
I have a comment. We've been noticing with our, on special election days where we have been in session, that we've seen an increasing number of, there have been some safety concerns that have been evolving, especially over at our Salem and our high school site. We have kids arriving and departing mixed in with the general public who are coming to vote at the high school on arrival and departure. And I think we've had some issues with some adults coming in on the Salem gym side, needing to use bathrooms and coming into the main building during school hours. And I think we even had an incident where I think Mrs. Smith was indicating someone was definitely under the influence of something, needing the bathroom. And I've had a few parents calling, expressing some concerns as well. So my recommendation would be to make the May 2nd election in next year's calendar a professional development day for the staff and for students not to be on site. And then we'll modify our calendars moving forward, not to be in session during those days.
I'll vote. Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Ms. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremines?
Yes.
We ask the board's approval to add lacrosse as a high school sport for both boys and girls next year.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Ms. Jordan? Any questions? I only had one. Have we, I know there's currently a lacrosse club or something, and have we been in contact with them?
Ms. Sawyer is, we've had a very lengthy dialogue and discussion, and they're very supportive of this occurring.
You're supportive of it. I just wanted to see us get into a tip for tat. Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Ms. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremines?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
So I'd ask the board's approval for item F.
I'll move.
Mr. Cremines? Mr. Nemish? Questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Haas?
Yes.
Ms. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Cremines?
Yes.
Mr. Nemish?
Yes.
Ms. Jordan?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. At this time, new business, we have under information items, the draft of the 2017-18 calendar options. Mr. Powers, we have kind of a conversation. Nancy can also add to this. There were, at our board listening session that Linda missed, we were inundated. I'm thinking, we were inundated actually with individuals. And one of the questions that they had was why we start early. You and I had this conversation today. Maybe you could go over that. Sure.
They're pretty much, Christmas break dictates a start date back in August. So we want to be done with the first semester and have our kids done with their exams and be able to come back from Christmas break with the start second semester. That pretty much dictates where we can begin. And we can start a little bit later if we shorten the Christmas break. I think you'll see on the options that we have put out there that there is a short Christmas break. We're still basically starting at the same time and ending at the same time. I think it's August 9th, the first day for kids, and I think May 23rd is the last day in those calendar proposals on those drafts. But in the past, a number of years ago, we would have Christmas break and we'd be back in school for a week and a half to 2 weeks, and then we'd move through finals and the end of the semester along about the 14th to the 18th of January. So we can start later, but it's going to mean that we're not going to be ending the semester at Christmas break.
That was just a very hot topic we noticed while we were there. I mean, not that it was very negative, it was a very positive meeting, but a lot of folks asked that question.
And I think there's some additional things. I know when you and I talked this morning, Randy, there are in-course exams that are in play now at our high school that are the state in-course exams where the kids accumulate quality points towards graduation. And having that break might possibly impact performance on those if we have to wait till coming back after Christmas break.
So what are the primary differences between these three drafts?
The first one mirrors, draft one mirrors the calendar for next year. Draft two has a shortened Christmas break, and I think both spring breaks are tied to the end of third quarter with a 4-day Easter break.
Do the teachers get to vote on this?
We will share this with the staff and get feedback from the staff. We have not put them out yet, but we have actually a meeting tomorrow that we'll put them out at, our district liaison meeting.
All right. Now, how did you come up with this originally? I mean, how does this develop?
Well, there's X number of days, 180 days, and this calendar has evolved. Actually, this one evolved several years ago, and we've basically put variations of it out.
But I mean, who puts this together? You put this together?
This is a central office function.
Okay.
Yeah, we put the initial drafts together and looked at. I mean, we started with 4, and we've had some internal discussions with 4 versions, and we've taken it down now to the 2 versions to get feedback on it.
And they send those out, and these are all the same, okay. Moment we've all been waiting for. Ms. Price, if you'd like to share the Warren County Career Center report?
Of course. I would. Aaron Reed, United Way, Warren County, thank the board for the support of our district staff in the 2015-16 campaign. Big thing that we discussed was the director of facilities gave an update on our master facilities plan. We're going to begin needed maintenance work over the summer, and we are going to use some of our permanent improvement funds to do some major improvements in the kitchen, a new culinary lab, and a new science lab, which we definitely needed. The board approved agreements and contracts. One was with Neola for board policy updates. The board approved secondary and adult student handbooks and the student calendar. We also approved resolutions to authorize participation in the state of Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Program, which helps us buy things at a better cost. We accepted donations. We had an anonymous donation of $460 for prom, flowers by Kroger, and some money from the First National Bank for our prom at the Career Center. Upcoming events. Project Excellence, of course, is May 4th. That's to honor teachers. Our Community Day, May 7th. If you have kids, and even if as adults, if you haven't been in the Career Center or been a part of it, they have their big flower sale there. They have free food, hot dogs, and hamburgers. They have, you can get a pedicure and a manicure. They're just highlighting some of our things that we offer at the Career Center. So it's really a good deal to go up there and kind of take a look around. They even have helicopters coming in. Also, the superintendent reported discussed about our enrollment for next year, which is growing. So that's all I have.
Thank you so much.
Well,
Okay, our next board meeting, May 28th, at the May 17th, sorry, I read that incorrectly.
And then I did have one other item related to the June board meeting that I just wanted to confirm with the board. I but at the June 28th board meeting, there is a conflict, and we were looking at moving the board meeting possibly to Wednesday, June the 29th. I know that Nancy is out of town that week, and I think Bobby is traveling back from, on that Tuesday, which will be at the board meeting. And I know we do have to have one before the end of June because of the end of year, fiscal year changeover. So it looks like we'll have 4 board members who can make it because I think Nancy's going to be out of town on the 29th. I think Terry likes to do the June board meeting as close to the end of June as he possibly can because of the fiscal year closeout.
So how was the 29th?
I'm suggesting the 29th.
Yeah.
All right, 29th. Okay, so we'll change that one to June the 29th. The next board meeting is May the 17th at the high school, correct?
Yes.
All right, anything else?
The June board meeting has always been not the 3rd Tuesday, but the 4th Tuesday because of the fiscal year closeout.
All right.
Thank you.
Community comments on non-agenda items.
No one has signed up.
Okay, at this time, we will need a motion to move into executive session.
I'll move.
Mr. Gaines,
I'll second.
Mr. Nay. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Grice?
Yes.
Mr. Kaminski? Yes. Mr. Devish? Yes. Mr. Nay?
Yes.
Mr. Hawes?
Yes.